policy is a statement of truth. It's a fact. Why is it that when people sit down to write a policy, especially information security policies, we suddenly become verbose and use lots of complex terms and words that confuse and obfuscate what we actually really mean? And I'm purposely using some tricky words in there and phrases, because that's what a lot of information security policies that I come across look like. Why do we have policies that stretch for pages and pages and pages when a policy is a statement of truth and fact? Let's think about a real world example. What's your policy on drinking and driving? Now, of course, there's a law that states you can't drink and drive. But actually, there are, depending upon which region and which country you're in, there are guidelines around the amount of alcohol you can consume if you are in control of a vehicle. But what's your policy on it? Now, my policy is, if I'm in control of a vehicle, I don't drink any alcohol. It's unambiguous. It's simple. That's what a policy is. Again, back in the real world, what's your policy around playing video games for your children, perhaps? Maybe your policy is that, and your rule is that they need to have completed their homework before they can play their video games. Or that they've done the dishes, for instance. This is a very simple policy. It's quite simple to enforce. It's quite simple to explain. It's quite simple to understand. Does this make sense? Can you see where I'm going? Policies need to be simple. Stop writing policies that are long-winded, 4 or 5 pages to explain a access control policy. No one's going to understand what that means. No one's going to take it on board. They may read it and they may sign a little piece of paper or send an email or tick a box that confirms that they've read it, but that doesn't mean they've understood it. And it certainly doesn't mean that they're going to follow it or remember it in a week's time. A policy is a statement of fact. It's a statement of truth. If your policy is going on for 5, 6, 10, 20 pages, then it's no longer a policy. It's a procedure. It's a process, maybe even guidelines. All of these are separate documents that, should people need them, they can read them. But it's not a policy. Your policy statement should be something that is accessible and easy to understand for your intended audience. And that's a critical point. Who is your intended audience? Is your policy aimed inward, or is it external facing? So think about your policy in simple terms. Use simple language, use simple structure, and that will help you be able to embed security within your organization. We are going to talk about individual policies, and I'm going to show you some of those policies in subsequent videos. But right here and right now, I just want to get this out of the way. Stop writing complex, long-winded, boring policies. No one's reading them. No one cares. All they're doing is ticking a box. And if all you want to do is tick a box, then you really aren't doing yourself or your organization or your customers any favors. So there you are. Enough said. Now you understand what a policy is. Let's go and take a look at some policies on some other videos. I'll see you there.